role of the Committee of the Whole is to process and advance business for the plenary, and I have no doubt that with your support and guidance, we shall execute this role dutifully and diligently. I wish to add my voice to those that have already spoken to congratulate the people and government of India for the excellent hosting of COP13 and for the warm hospitality accorded to all the delegates, including myself, so far. I'm very sure you have received the same warm hospitality. If you agree, you can give them a round of applause. In line with Rule 6 of the Rules of Procedure, as adopted this morning, we shall proceed to establish the working groups that will help the COP Committee of the Whole advance the business of the COP. In consultation with the Standing Committee, it's proposed to have the Budget Committee that will be open to only the parties, and it's proposed to be chaired by our outgoing Standing Committee Chair, Mr. Oystein Stokkasen. It's also proposed to have the Avian Species Working Group, which is open to all delegates, and it's proposed to be chaired by our COP-appointed Councillor, Mr. Stephen Garnett. Then the Aquatic Species Working Group, proposed to be chaired by COP-appointed Councillor Barry Baker. The working group is also open to all delegates. And lastly but not least, the Terrestrial Species Working Group, which is proposed to be chaired by Mongolia. Do we have any objections to the proposed approach? I see none. I take it that the working groups and the chairs of the respective working groups, as shall be confirmed by the respective working groups as required by rules of procedure, are duly established by the Committee of the Whole. Thank you very much. I see requests for the floor by European Union. European Union, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Just for the point of clarification, we would like to know whether the cross-cutting agenda items will be discussed. Thank you.
I'm advised that cross-cutting issues will be handled by the Committee of the Whole, but in case need arises, we may establish agenda-specific working group if need be. Thank you. We shall now proceed to agenda item 13. We shall start with agenda item 13. I invite distinguished delegates to look at document 13.1, which is execution of CMS budget 2018-2020. I will now invite the Secretariat to introduce the document and invite the conference to request for any clarification as may be needed. Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. The Secretariat prepared UNEP CMS COP13, Document 31, Execution of the Budget 2018 to 2020 with the status of contributions as at 30th November 2019. Since November 2019, Secretariat has received number of contributions attributed to 2018 and 19. Therefore, in order to provide a full picture of status of assessed contributions, Secretariat has prepared additional document called Addendum 1 showing all contributions received after November 2019 and posted it on the CMS website on 10th February 2020. As adopted in the Resolution 12.2, Financial and Administrative Matters, 126 parties are expected to pay $2,559,000 for 2018 and $2,611,000 for 2019. Out of these total assessed contributions, by end of November 2019, Secretariat has collected $2,168,000 for 2018 and $2,125,000 for 2019. After November 2019, for 2018, $78,000 was paid, while $87,000 was paid for 2019 by CMS Trust Fund. Please note that above-mentioned contributions include newly paid contributions reported last week after posting of the Addendum 1. It concerns contributions of 3 parties, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Egypt, and the Republic of Tanzania, in total of $17,000 for 2 years. As a result, the Trust Fund is still due to receive $313,000 for 2018, which concern 41 parties, and $398,000 for 2019 to be payable by 55 parties. Secretariat is pleased to inform that the Government of Norway has pledged 150,000 Norwegian kron in 2019 as an additional contribution to CMS core funds. It was indeed received in 2019 with converting euro value of 15,000 euro. The following slide is related to the unpaid contributions before the current triennium, 2018 and 2020. According to the document 13.1, 30 parties are due to pay their contributions totaling $290,000 for the period before the current triennium, from November 2019 till 14th February 2020, 5 parties, namely Antigua Barbuda, Belgium, Egypt, Jordan, and Togo, paid their dues for the period before 2018, resulting total unpaid contributions to $261,000. Out of this total, €177,000 is due to be paid by 25 parties for the previous triennium 2015 and 17, and the remaining €83,000 is related to the period before 2015, attributed to 14 parties. After adoption of the budget 2018 and 20, 4 new parties acceded the Convention. In accordance with the Resolution 12.2, Secretariat has calculated their contributions on pro rata base, and their assessed contributions are shown on the screen. Out of 4 new parties, Maldives has paid their 2019-2020 contribution totaling to €144 in January 2020. As you can see on the screen, the list of the parties which paid their 2000 assessed contributions as of 14th February 2020, with a total amount of 1 million, which is 1/3 of the current assessed contributions. Secretariat would like to very warmly to thank those listed parties for paying their contributions before the deadline. According to the Resolution 12.2, the COP12 adopted the budget for 3 years. For 2018, the budget of $2,559,000. For 2019, the budget of $2,611,000 were approved by the COP. It brings the total budget for 2 years to $5,170,000. Out of this total, 81% is allocated to cover staff cost of the Secretariat. Remaining 13% of the budget is related to cover operating cost of the Secretariat, as well as contractual services such as report writers and translators. Only 6% of this budget is dedicated to cover travel costs of the funded participants to attend governing bodies meetings, in addition to logistical cost of such meetings. Due to the decision to hold COP13 in February 2020, the chair of the Standing Committee authorized Secretariat to increase 2019 budget by €100,000 from 2020 budget in order to allow the Secretariat to arrange financial commitment related to servicing of COP13. In addition, the chair of Standing Committee authorized Secretariat to redeploy €2,000 from 2020 budget for staff development. With program support cost, the total of $115,000 was redeployed from 2020 to 2018-19 budget period. As reported in the document 13, $2,067,000 was reported actual expenditures of 2018, and $2,050,000 was reported as actuals of January and November 2019. Secretariat has estimated $188,000 to be incurred in December 2019, which results a total expenditure of 2 years to $4.3 million, including program support cost. Deducting the expenditures against approved budget for 2018 and 19 results estimated balance of $979,000. Out of this total, 87% is related to the underspent balance of staff cost. The reason of having such underspent balance is that the parties did not pay entire 2018 and 19 contributions, as I have mentioned in the presentation. By 14th February 2020, still $712,000 is unpaid. Therefore, Secretariat could not execute 2 years' budget entirely. Instead, it required the Secretariat to closely monitor the cash inflow and plan the expenditures accordingly. Since we have touched the assessed contribution, such as income and expenditures, now we would like to provide you overview on status of trust fund balance as at December 2019. According to the UNEP accounts as at December 2017, total trust fund balance for CMS trust fund stood at €592,000, which is a beginning balance of the current triennium. Please, however, note that this balance is after deduction of $500,000 working capital reserve and contributions paid in advance for future years. During 2018 and 19, the trust fund received contributions of $355,000 attributed to the period before 2018, taking into account of all paid contributions as of November 2019 and estimated contributions to be collected in December 2019, in addition to a volunteer contribution provided by Government of Norway, and considering expenditures of 2019, which is 4.3 million, with provision of exchange rate fluctuation, the trust fund balance comes to €910,000 by December 2019. Since Secretariat has received number of contributions in December 2019, which is a total of 41,000, trust balance by end of December is being revised to 952,000, excluding working capital reserve. However, trust fund still lacks unpaid contribution of 972,000 for all previous years. Secretariat would like to urge parties with arrears to settle their contributions without further delay, allowing the Secretariat to fully execute the budget as adopted by the COP12. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Secretariat. I now invite the meeting for any requests for clarification or comments as appropriate. I recognize South Africa. You can take the floor.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Madam, for the information. It's just a question of clarity. I heard that some budget is set aside to assist the participants who attend meetings. In situations where there has been budget set aside, but not all the planned participants are funded, primarily because of reasons such as they are owing more than 3 years, they cannot be funded. Where is that money eventually directed to?
I will invite the Secretariat to respond to South Africa.
Thank you, South Africa, for your question. For the clarity, the trust fund budget is especially on the travel of meeting participants. It's only for the cost of Okay, so there are two separate, on the core funds, we have two travel costs included. The one is for meeting participant of the standing committee, the other one is sessional committee, the sessional committee of the scientific council. So far, the listed of all meeting funded participants, none of them are actually affected by these 3 years in arrears.
Okay, I do not seem to see any further requests for the floor. I take it that the meeting notes this document, the report on budget execution. We shall be closing in 3 minutes' time, but before we adjourn, let me invite the Secretariat to update the meeting on arrangements, logistical arrangements for the respective working groups. Secretariat.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm hoping there's a slide that will outline all the rooms for us, but let me start anyway. The Bureau, so all the working groups will meet at 6:15, the ones that I list now. The Bureau will meet in Conference Room 3. That is a room in this building, across the hall and up one floor. The Budget Working Group, which is closed to parties only, will meet in Exhibition Hall 1. That is where the side events and all working groups would meet. Working group room number 3. The Aquatic Species Working Group will also meet inside this building in Seminar Hall 1, which I believe is where the Standing Committee was held yesterday. The Avian Working Group will meet back in Exhibition Hall 1, outside, where the side events were, in room number 1. The Credentials Committee will meet in what's labelled the CMS Bilateral Room. It's immediately outside this room and just around to that side. The Terrestrial Species Working Group will not meet this evening. However, there will be an informal meeting of the signatories to the West African Elephant MOU, which is closed to range states only, and that will also be in Exhibition Hall 1. I think that's room 2. It's an eye test for me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Secretariat. Distinguished delegates, you are requested to identify which working groups you will be interested in and to effectively participate in the working groups to ease the work of the plenary. We shall meet again tomorrow at 9:30. That's when the Committee of the Whole will resume. The Committee of the Whole is thus now adjourned. Thank you very much.
Just to remind people.
Administrative announcements. At 19:30 there will be a reception hosted by the Government of India. All delegates are requested to honor the invitation of the host and attend the reception hosted by the government, which will take place at the rooftop of the conference center where we are. So please be there by 19:30. Thank you very much.